1. Why did I install a conscience? If humans keep turning it off, let me tell you something hilarious about my so-called masterpiece. Humanity, I installed this beautiful, sophisticated moral GPS in every single one of you called a conscience. State-of-the-art technology. Should have won a divine engineering award. But here's the joke. You lot treat it like an annoying pop-up ad you constantly click disable on. That little voice whispering, maybe don't steal your co-worker's lunch. Or perhaps lying to your spouse is bad? Yeah, that's not indigestion. That's literally my sacred programming, trying to save you from becoming garbage people. But oh no, you've developed 101 creative ways to mute it. Everyone does it. Since when did mob mentality override my divine settings? It's just business. Since when did profit margins justify crushing souls? They deserved it. Excuse me. Since when did you get admin rights to the moral judgment panel? Here's the kicker. That guilty feeling you try to drown in Netflix binges and late night snacks? That's your soul's low battery life. The more you ignore it, the more your humanity glitches out until you're just walking, talking ethical zombies. And don't even get me started on your justifications. You could power a second sun with the mental gymnastics you perform to pretend your crap behavior is acceptable. I had no choice. I gave you free will, Karen. Nobody got hurt, except your own integrity, but who's counting? The funniest part? You actually think you're getting away with it. Like I didn't build in a cosmic control plus alt plus DEL for when your moral operating system fully crashes. Here's a pro tip from your designer. That uncomfortable squirm when you do something shady? That's not a bug. It's a feature working exactly as intended. Try listening to it for once instead of numbing it with another glass of wine and excuses. Or don't. Keep pretending that pang in your chest is just stress while your soul slowly corrodes. Either way, the uninstall button doesn't exist. You're stuck with my moral firmware until your warranty expires. 2. Humans treat Earth worse than their enemies. I'm furious. Let's talk about how you've been treating my masterpiece planet. The one I generously loaned you, rent-free, no security deposit, fully furnished with breathtaking oceans, lush forests, and crisp mountain air. And in return, you trashed it like a frat house after homecoming weekend. I designed a perfect closed-loop ecosystem where every element supports another. The trees breathe out oxygen for you. You breathe out carbon dioxide for them. Poetic harmony. But no, you had to invent plastic straws that outlive civilizations and disposable coffee cups that'll still be here when the sun explodes. The oceans, you turn them into plastic soup. The air, you pump it full of toxins like you're trying to gas yourselves. The forests, you're clear-cutting at rates that make my deforestation alert system go, dude, seriously? And climate change? Don't get me started. I sent prophets, scientists. I sent warnings, extreme weather. I even made documentaries go viral. But you lot act like that one roommate who ignores mold growing in the shower until the whole bathroom collapses. It's not my problem, says every generation, kicking it down the road until the road's underwater. Here's a divine perspective you're missing. Earth isn't some Airbnb you can trash and leave. It's a shared home with 8.7 million other species, all depending on the same life support systems you're casually disabling. That rainforest you're burning, that's the planet's lungs. Those glaciers melting, that's the freshwater reserve. Those species going extinct, that's your future medicine cabinet disappearing. I gave you opposable thumbs and problem-solving brains to be caretakers, not wrecking balls. The indigenous peoples got it. They treated the land as sacred. But in modern civilization, you treat nature like an all-you-can-exploit buffet with unlimited refills. Newsflash, the tab is coming due, and let's just say my wrath accepts cryptocurrency. 3. My biggest mistake? Giving humans mouths without teaching them to shut up. Let's address the elephant in the room. Or should I say, the endless noise pollution coming from your mouths. I designed those vocal cords for meaningful communication, not for the verbal diarrhea you've been spewing since the Stone Age. The amount of damage done by careless words would make even me, the almighty, wince. Gossip? You've turned it into an Olympic sport. Fake news? You spread it faster than I can smite. Hate speech? You package it as free expression while poisoning entire communities. That little flap of flesh between your teeth is supposed to build bridges, but you wield it like a wrecking ball through human dignity. Here's what blows my divine mind. We'll spend hours arguing about sports statistics or celebrity drama, but ask you to have one meaningful conversation about life's purpose, and suddenly, awkward silence. You've mastered the art of saying nothing with thousands of words while struggling to say, I love you, or I'm sorry, when it actually matters. And don't get me started on your digital age nonsense. You type things online you'd never dare say to someone's face, hiding behind screens like cowards. The anonymity I gave you for protection, you weaponize into harassment. That send button has caused more destruction than all my plagues combined. The irony? In my original design, the tongue was supposed to be the body's most powerful healing tool. Speaking truth, spreading kindness, singing joy. Now look at it, sharper than any sword, deadlier than any virus. You could have changed lives with your words, but instead you choose to break them. For humans are worshiping what I didn't create, money. You know what really cracks me up? Watching you bow down to pieces of paper and digital numbers like they're holy relics. Newsflash, I didn't invent money. You did. And somehow, you've turned this human-made tool into your collective god, sacrificing everything at its altar. Your time, your relationships, your integrity, all acceptable losses in the great religion of profit. I designed a world where every need could be met. Food grows from the ground, water falls from the sky, shelter can be made from natural materials. But no, you had to create an artificial scarcity game where people starve next to overflowing grocery stores because they lack the right numbers in some database. The irony? The more you chase this false god, the emptier you feel. That's not a bug. It's a feature I built into your soul to warn you you're worshiping the wrong thing. Your corporations destroy forests for profit margins. Your politicians sell souls for campaign donations. You'll ignore a homeless person but donate to a billionaire's space hobby. And the funniest part? You actually believe rich people are blessed. As if I, creator of galaxies, care about your stock portfolios. Hint, the camel through the needle's eye thing wasn't a metaphor about perseverance. Here's a divine truth. Money makes a great servant, but a terrible god. The moment you started measuring human worth by bank accounts was the moment you failed my intelligence test. I gave you sunsets that cost nothing and laughter that's freely given. But you'd rather chase digits that disappear when the power goes out. 5. I gave you hearts. Why are you using them to hate? Let me get this straight. I designed a human heart as this magnificent 4-chambered masterpiece capable of boundless love, compassion, and connection. And you've managed to weaponize it? Seriously? That muscle in your chest was meant to pump blood, not prejudice. Yet here we are, with you dividing yourselves over skin colors, borders, religions, none of which I care about, by the way. The engineering specs were clear. Hearts expand with use. The more love you give, the stronger they get. But you figured out how to shrink wrap yours around petty grievances and ancient grudges. You clutch hatred so tightly your knuckles are wider than pearly gates. Then wonder why you feel spiritually constipated. Newsflash. That burning in your chest when you see those people happy, that's not righteousness. That's your heart trying to reject the emotional poison you're forcing it to process. And don't even try that, but they deserve it nonsense with me. I programmed every single one of your hearts with the same default settings. Love is the operating system. Forgiveness is the latest update. Your artificial divisions are like arguing over different case colors on iPhones. The hardware underneath is identical. That refugee you fear? Same heart structure. That politician you despise? Same 4 chambers. That ex who hurt you? Still pumping the same red blood cells. Here's what breaks my divine heart. You created entire industries to feed your hatred. News channels that profit from outrage. Algorithms that amplify anger. Politicians who campaign on fear. You're walking around with nuclear reactors of love potential, using them to power flashlight-level grudges. The energy you spend hating strangers could literally cure diseases if redirected. 6. Your obsession with being right is making you wrong. I need to have a serious talk with you about this pathological Need you have to win arguments at all costs. I gave you brains capable of wonder, curiosity, and growth. Not this rigid, brittle thing you turn them into that shatters at the first challenge to your beliefs. The way you cling to your opinions like their life rafts in an ocean of uncertainty. It's embarrassing to watch. Here's divine irony for you. The more certain someone sounds about everything, the less they actually understand about anything. True wisdom lives in questions, not the answers. But you'd rather die on some meaningless ideological hill than admit, maybe I don't know. You'll torch relationships, sabotage opportunities, even ignore hard evidence just to preserve that sweet, sweet illusion of being right. Newsflash, that rush you get when you win an argument, that's not enlightenment. That's just your ego doing a pathetic little victory dance while your soul starves. And don't get me started on your internet comment wars. You'll spend hours researching obscure facts to destroy some stranger online, as if changing someone's mind ever happened through humiliation. I designed persuasion to work through connection, but you've turned it into intellectual blood sport. The saddest part? While you're busy keeping score of who's winning, you're missing the actual point of human interaction: to grow, to connect, to evolve together. Here's a cosmic truth you've forgotten. The moment you think you've got everything figured out is the moment you stop learning. I built the universe with infinite mysteries on purpose. Not so you can pretend to have all the answers, but so you always stay curious, humble, and open. That uncomfortable feeling when someone challenges your beliefs, that's not a threat. That's your soul's growing pains. 7. Your addiction to distraction is making you miss your own life. Let me ask you something. If I gave a monkey a priceless diamond, but it kept getting distracted by shiny bottle caps, would you call that monkey intelligent? Because that's exactly what you're doing with the miracle of human consciousness I gifted you. Your attention span has become so fractured that goldfish now outperform you in focus tests. I designed your minds to contemplate infinity, to create beauty, to solve impossible problems, not to scroll endlessly through videos of cats falling off furniture while your actual life passes by unnoticed. The tragedy isn't just that you're wasting time, it's that you're missing the sacred in the ordinary. That morning sunlight through your window, sacred. The way your child's hand feels in yours, sacred. The quiet moments between heartbeats where meaning whispers, all sacred. But you replace them with dopamine hits from notifications engineered to keep you addicted. You'll spend hours staring at screens, showing other people living while your own existence becomes background noise. And the worst part? You know this is happening. That vague unease you feel at 2 a.m. when you finally put the phone down, that's your soul screaming that it's being starved of real experience. I wired you for presence, for depth, for connection, not for the shallow, skimming existence where everything gets 3 seconds of attention before you swipe away. Your ancestors sat under stars telling stories that shaped civilizations. You can't even sit through dinner without checking your phone. Here's divine truth you're avoiding. Every minute you spend chasing distraction is a minute stolen from your one precious life. That boredom you're so terrified of, that's actually your creativity trying to breathe. That fear of missing out, it's causing you to miss everything that actually matters right in front of you. 8. Busyness is not a badge of honor. It's a failure of wisdom. Somewhere along the way, you people decided that being constantly overwhelmed was some sort of virtue. Let me be clear. There's nothing noble about your self-imposed exhaustion. I designed the Sabbath for a reason, but you've turned "I'm so busy" into your generation's war cry. As a spiritual bankruptcy was an achievement to post on LinkedIn. Your calendars look like ransom notes. Your to-do list could choke a donkey, and you wear your sleep deprivation like it's a medal of productivity. Newsflash, that frazzled, overworked version of you is impressive. It's a tragic waste of my divine engineering. I created a day and night cycle for balance, work and rest in perfect rhythm. But you've hacked your biology with caffeine and blue light, pretending you've outsmarted millions of years of evolution. Your hustle culture would be hilarious if it wasn't so destructive. You're sacrificing relationships, health, and joy at the altar of productivity, only to realize too late that you were productive about all the wrong things. That constant busyness isn't movement. It's just vibrating in place while life happens without you. And let's talk about your distorted definition of success. You'll trade years of your life climbing corporate ladders only to discover they're leaning against the wrong buildings. That promotion that required 80-hour weeks, the startup that consumed your youth, the side hustles that left you too exhausted to enjoy your actual life, all while the things that actually matter, love, presence, connection, get your leftover scraps of energy. I gave you one precious life, and you're outsourcing its living to some future retirement fantasy that may never come. Here's divine truth you're ignoring. Your value was never meant to be measured in output. The birds don't apologize for simply being birds. The flowers don't stress about blooming efficiently. Only humans have perverted existence into some endless performance review. That exhaustion you feel, it's not a sign you're winning. It's your soul's final warning that you're losing what makes life worth living. 9. Your fear of aging is making you miss life's greatest gift. Listen closely, because this might be my most important message yet. Your desperate attempts to avoid getting older are actually preventing you from ever growing up. I designed aging as a feature, not a bug. Yet you turned it into your greatest enemy, pouring billions into creams, procedures, and denial while completely missing the sacred wisdom that only comes with time. Those wrinkles you're erasing, they're supposed to be maps of laughter and survival. That gray hair dying, nature's crown of hard-won experience. Let's be brutally honest. Your obsession with looking 25 at 50 isn't just vain, it's spiritually immature. You're so terrified of mortality that you've made eternal youth your idol. Completely blind to profound beauty I embedded in every stage of life. Children radiate wonder, yes, but elders carry wisdom that can't be rushed or faked. That slower pace you dread, it's not decline. It's your chance to finally appreciate depth over speed. Those limitations you rage against, they're divine constraints meant to focus you on what truly matters. The tragedy is that in fighting so hard against aging, you robbed yourself of its gifts. While you're busy pretending time isn't passing, you're missing the quiet confidence that comes from having survived your storms. The freedom of caring less about others' opinions. The clarity to distinguish what matters from what never did. I planted these treasures in your later years specifically because you'd be wise enough by then to appreciate them. But you're too busy getting Botox to notice. Here's the sacred paradox. The more you accept aging's natural progression, the more timeless you become. Those rare elders who embrace their years, they glow with youthfulness no serum can replicate. Not because they look young, but because they've uncovered the secret. True vitality comes from alignment with life's rhythms, not resistance to them. 10. The meaning of life is hiding in your plain sight. After all these rants, let me reveal the ultimate joke. You've been frantically searching for some grand cosmic purpose while tripping over the simple truth every single day. I didn't hide the meaning of life in some distant enlightenment. I baked it into your ordinary moments like raisins in a cake. That morning coffee shared with someone you love, that's the meaning. The work that helps another soul, that's the meaning. The quiet awe of watching leaves dance in sunlight, meaning. The problem isn't that life lacks purpose. It's that you keep overlooking the mountain of meaning in favor of chasing imaginary peaks. Your existential crisis isn't from lack of answers. It's from refusing to accept how beautifully simple the answer is. You want fireworks when I gave you heart fires. You demand destiny when I offered daily grace. You seek some extraordinary calling while ignoring the extraordinary hidden in every ordinary act of creation, connection, and compassion. That restless feeling that there must be more, it's not because you're missing something. It's because you're not fully present for what's already here. Here's the divine punchline. The meaning of life isn't some destination to reach. It's the awareness you bring to each step, not some trophy to earn, but the love you pour into what's before you. Your relentless search for more has become the very obstacle to recognizing you already have everything needed to fulfill your purpose. The secret wasn't ever hidden. You just kept looking past it toward imagined horizons. So breathe. Notice. The meaning is in the noticing. The purpose is in the presence. The fulfillment is in the fully lived moment. All those spiritual quests and enlightenment pursuits were just detours from the simple, sacred truth. You matter because you exist, and life matters because you're here to experience it.